You got me right in there.
All right, good.
Zone me right in.
All right, good evening. I'd like to call to order July 8th Park Board meeting. It is now 6:30. And if we could rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to add to, I believe, business.
Yeah.
Probably, we have a representative here from disc golf that would like to talk about a potential tournament that they'd like to put together. So I would like to add that.
Do it right away.
What's that?
Do it right away. First item.
Yeah,
Business.
yeah, we can do that. We'll do it. Yeah, as soon as we get done, let's do it right away. All right, with that addition, I will look for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Motion.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion moves on. Minutes from last month. Everything. I found no issues. Of course, I'm not very well with finding spelling corrections and stuff, so. I'm not sure if anybody else has anything. If not, I will look for a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. On to business. Take it away.
The first item is yours. You added to the agenda.
I did. So we were informed last night. We had our baseball club meeting last night. That some of the awesome designers of our golf course will have an idea of potentially to kind of get the word out and whatnot to host a disc golf tournament. So with that,
Well, if Nick, you want to bring up some of the, just you guys kind of get a, I don't know if you guys have seen all of the work we've done, but
oh yeah, greatly appreciated.
we're 18-hole disc golf course, so it's enough holes to host like tournaments, have leagues, sanctioned, unsanctioned events. So my kind of vision is to continue to kind of like let this blossom and grow. Add features, add things down the road, make it kind of a premier disc golf course for the area, one that people want to come and play along with some of the other courses. But a big draw is having like disc golf tournaments. Eventually, obviously it's too late this year because the City Fest is just next week, but to add on to that event, it'd be cool to have, a disc golf tournament like in the morning as part of one of the activities, just to kind of add to it. But for this year, sometime in September, I was thinking maybe the first couple of weekends after Labor Day, having kind of a grand opening, community event / tournament. And along with that, having some items that can, like commemorative items that you can give out to people as they play the tournament or community members. And that's one what I asked for from the Mayor Baseball Association to help fund that. There's companies like Innova Disc Golf where we got the baskets from. They can do different packages where they'll do like custom discs that have, like the day Mayor disc golf course, like a grand opening. And I have some ideas for that custom stamping that they do. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. As far as this one, you can do like an unsanctioned event get people from the community, have different, like levels, like a advanced, just to a recreational player, just kind of for everybody. Yeah, do you guys have any other questions? I don't know.
So would you head it up?
Yeah, I would help head it up. What you could do, there's kind of different ways to do it. So there's different programs like apps like this Disc Scene where you can advertise the tournament. And that's where if you want to have like a fee to play, that all the money would go for that into that, and then would get distributed to the people that like did like the top 3 or whatever in each division. So it kind of gives people incentive to want to come and like play. Generally, sometimes they'll do like a players pack with that, and that's where like the money from the baseball association would come in. So they would get a couple discs, or they would get for playing the tournament, or you could just have that money set aside that, you know, a window before the tournament, anybody comes can get a disc or something, you know, open that to like the community. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
But like if you do like where it's, you know, let's say it's $20 to enter the tournament, separate from that, then that would give another draw for people to come in, because if they placed, you know, in the top 3 or the top 5 or whatever, they would get some kind of cash reward for that. Kind of generally how they work as far as like tournaments go.
How many people usually make it to the tournament?
Well, it just depends. I mean, I think they try to cap it at like 70 people or 75 people. Now the Buffalo part of their city days or whatever, there's a course, 18-hole course at the church there, Buffalo Covenant. And it's an unsanctioned event, kind of like we would have. I think they got like 40 some people. They kind of it grows every year.
What do you need to do to make it sanctioned?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of learning myself because I'm
Okay.
newer to this. With that, it makes it a little more tricky because then people have like PDGA, like professional disc golf, like numbers, and then it rates them. And if you have unsanctioned people, they'll charge them a little bit more to play. But I kind of want to keep it, you know,
Simple.
Approachable.
keep it approachable to where, yes, you can have like an advanced tier to it for the people that are really competitive, but then you can have the rec level, like myself, for people that just want to, you know, that are in the community that want to play.
So I know, like I know you've talked, and you know,
Yeah.
Jason's talked too. You guys use multiple discs to
Yep.
throw. Is it possible to use one?
Well, yeah, you can
I
play,
mean-
you can play with as few as 1 disc or 100 discs.
So even if it was something, say a tournament where we handed out the discs just for showing up and playing, right? That person could use that disc to play the
Yeah, they
course.
could. So one thing that I'm kind of a newer to intermediate player.
Mm-hmm.
So there's certain, like with working with like Innova, you would tailor it to a disc that is most common, maybe like a mid-range or a fairway driver. Like I wouldn't get a long distance driver because they're like the really like thick rimmed ones.
Okay.
Those are for more like advanced players. So yeah, it would be like items that anybody can use. And like sometimes the player packs, it could be a fairway driver, a towel to wipe your disc with, maybe like a pop can koozie kind of a thing, like stuff like that.
Okay.
And that can all be like ordered through like, you know, Innova or Discraft or something.
Okay.
And what would like a mid range, like what price we're looking at for like one of those?
Well,
If it's not stamped, let's just say what it normally is. It like $5 or $10 or
I mean,
something
they can
like
be
that.
as cheap as under $10 up to, because they do like there's
Yeah.
different premium plastics. So if you have like a higher end plastic, you know, you can go from 20 like if you pay $30 for a disc, that's pretty expensive disc.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's kind of the cool thing about the sport is that it's very accessible. You know, you can play with one disc, or you can have a whole bag full of discs. You know, and they're pretty common. You can go to, you know, there's even Mill Sweet Farm sells disco discs. So
I really like that idea. Like if we did have like, yeah, a grand opening tournament or whatever, that for people who just wanted to check it out, like that they could come and get a disc
Right,
and they could
that's-
play.
Right.
Even if that included like their, you know, their fee to maybe that's most of the cost of the disc is their fee or whatever. But that's something you could. It's easy then. It's like, oh, I sign up and I get a disc. I can go play for the day. I think that's pretty cool.
Or is it possible that we, as the park board, could we sponsor, say, like 3 spots?
Well, I guess that's where I want to circle back to who's actually running it. Do you have experience in running a tournament
well, so
before?
I have my friend Greg Nettleship. So he actually is a ambassador pro for Innova, and he's very experienced about.
How many people does it generally take to run a tournament?
For something like this, it'd probably be like myself and someone like Greg.
That's it. So you guys would do advertising and
Well, you
Sign-ups
do it. So
and-
there's a couple Facebook groups for like there's a Hutchinson
okay.
disc golf group, and then there's like a Twin Cities disc golf group that has like maybe like up to like over 10,000 people that are.
Do they
members of
use-
it. So you'd advertise there, and then also through those like disc scenes.
Mhm.
That's where. So that's nice if you go through an app like that. That's where people sign up. That's where they pay.
So it's kind of taken care of.
It would take the city
So you could put all of your caps
Okay.
and all of
But
that.
that,
in there.
like that, so a separate, aside from like, let's say the baseball association, but the baseball association money would pay for like the extras that we'd be giving out. The money that's collected for the like signing up, that money would get distributed to the top players who win
The tournament.
So they get a decent money. I mean,
I mean, if you get,
Depending on how many people sign up.
$20, usually unsanctioned events like this go anywhere from, you know, $15 to $30 to sign up. That's these sanctioned ones, I mean, people, they get rated, they get points, and they can be like $50, $60 to sign up. So, you know, if you get, say, $20 a person, and you get 70 people, it would be quite a bit.
Minus the cost of the disc.
And whatever you're
You're-
paying, whenever you're
Well,
paying the app
That's
for
the,
the like
what I-
10-20% or something.
the money for whatever we're giving with players pack or the money, that's what would be coming from the donation. from the baseball.
Okay.
I want to find some way that we can get the community to come and play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's you know, I think it's great to have
Agreed.
players from all over to advertise this.
Sure.
I just want to make sure that we have a way for locals to get into it and involved and
Right.
not push them out by feeling
Well,
this guy
that's-
plays
that's
like
good.
weekly and I'm like
Yeah.
Joe Blow never
Yeah.
thrown one,
Or
you know?
or I suggested that like, let's say the tournament started at 1:00, from, 10 to 1, have like kind of like an open house style.
Okay,
And that's where you could give something.
That sounds
away.
great.
okay,
And then maybe
that would make more
ask, like,
sense.
Sweet Winks or something to come bring a food truck.
Right, and then if they wanted to stay and
and
play
play
the tournament.
Then they could, yes.
Then we have to advertise it in our community because not
Yep.
a majority of people in our community are not on those Facebook groups,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
myself included.
Right.
So we'd have to find a
I
way.
mean, we have next door, we have.
The only
we
thing
have
about
other means.
dates,
Yep.
the Mayor Fire Department 125th is on September 20th, and then Music in the Park is the next weekend on September 27th. So if you're
27th.
looking at dates in September, you probably
Yep.
do not want to do either of
Okay,
those
we're
dates.
thinking either Greg, who's gonna help me, he can do Saturday the 9th, what's the Saturday or after Labor Day?
The 6th.
It'd be the 6th, yeah. They're kind of like that day or the next, like Saturday.
Okay. Beginning of the,
So
Month.
after Labor Day,
So you have about a month and a half to get everything up and running. That's feasible?
I don't know, I think so. The baskets just arrived. I'm gonna help facilitate getting those built. It'll be, 19 baskets to build. Well, I mean,
The signage is in final stages that should go for production this week.
well, like, yeah, and the signing, that doesn't have to happen right away either, because, there's another app that most players use called UDisc. And once Jason hits live on that, then it'll be uploaded and then people can follow along.
It's GPS.
Oh, wow.
I think
or
that
whatever.
the only thing with piggybacking with like what you said with it being a grand opening, it'd be nice for people to see it done. I understand what you're saying, but
Yeah.
to go out and see it and its glory, I guess.
Mhm.
I'm not opposed to it. I'm just, seems like a short window, but
well, I mean, we kind of had a short window putting it together too. So, I mean, it's, you know,
So one of the biggest issues we have is, let's say, you know, they donate the money, getting it to where it's, you know, from a, cause, with the 401 thing, and then having the city, maybe giving it to the city paying, like, say, Innova, and then they have a lead time to get the hot stamping on there.
Probably 4 weeks or 3
Right.
weeks
I
or
think it's-
something.
yeah, it's-
Right.
I'd say probably like tops is like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of it'd be a little tight, but I think we can do it.
yeah, I have no problem. I think it's a great idea. I think introducing it, like I say, I just want to make sure that the community has an opportunity. And that's why I was asking if you could play with one disc, right? If
Yeah,
the,
and
if the
that's-
community shows up, they get a disc, they get to try it, you know, they get, you know,
And that kind
yeah,
of
they're not going to be multi-discers.
right off the bat. I know
Right.
I won't be. I'd be like,
Right.
Well, that's a really approachable thing. Like, come check it out. There'll be some people there to talk to you, and we're gonna.
Even that, like, the window before the tournament starts.
Yeah.
mhm,
People would be free to go and play the course, check it
Yeah.
out.
yeah,
And then even with the tournament, that's where you have your 2 different sections where you have your advanced and then you'd have your rec. So then someone, if they were like, I don't know, I kind of want to join or throw the tournament, but that would be like a division for that.
Yeah.
So you don't have to feel like you're competing against people. That's, I'd even be in the bottom tier.
okay.
Do you think? I mean, I know you said you're kind of a little bit new to it or whatever. Like, have you been to other like inaugural tournament type of thing? Or I mean, just kind of curious, like how.
Not one where we opened a disc golf
Yeah.
course, but I've been to other like couple tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just kind of curious, like what, because you said that one in Buffalo draws like 40 or something people now. I'm just kind of curious, like if it's tough to get one off the ground with a brand new course, or do you feel like the community's always kind of like, give me another place to play?
They're usually pretty good about giving me another place to play.
Yeah.
But if you do have some of those parameters with like, if you get something,
Yeah.
and then there could be a cash prize.
Yeah.
That's definitely
A little bit of
That's
a draw.
the
Yeah.
draw coming
Yeah.
up to play. And I did the summers. I mean, so Minnesota is one of the like top states for disc golf in the nation. And we just had the world's Masters Tour come through. There was like 5 or 6 different courses that they
Wow.
played. Over 1,000 people came.
Wow.
So every weekend is pretty like booked up. But those 2 weekends in September, there isn't a lot of like big tournaments.
Nothing's
going on.
advertised, and so
that
get
was
on there.
Something going on.
Okay.
Do you have?
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Do you have worry? You've been looking at this quite a bit. Like, do you have worry with? I feel like a couple times I've looked at getting started on those kind of apps and stuff like that. There's usually like a time period you gotta get your bank account set up. I mean, like, is there any worry like that stuff wouldn't
I
be?
don't think
functioning.
So. Like my friend Greg is pretty like
Sure.
knowledgeable on this.
Okay.
Does that app then set up the tournament for the day then too, or does somebody have
Yeah,
to
I can
physically do that?
actually show you guys an example.
And is there a sign up date? Like, or can people sign up the day
Yeah, there
of?
would be like there's usually a deadline, you need to sign up by this date, or
Mhm.
the registration will close.
So with that said, would say I go up there and I'm like, I can do this. I want to join the tournament.
You can't.
Would I be able to that day?
I mean, yeah, you can kind of set the rules. I mean, some places would be like, it's an extra fee if you sign up that day.
Okay.
But I think we get to kind of like make the rules.
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
But this is the app right here. This scene, so then you can click on tournaments. Let's say, okay, this flight deck.
Can you see?
I
It'll have all the information. How many people is one person signed up at this point? They'll have a button to register. It'll have like all the different information, what time it is, the different classes of, what it costs to like be
Okay.
in different divisions.
Mhm.
So the app kind of helps advertise too. Does it
Yeah. Yep.
like
So you could share
ping
the-
certain tournaments in your area or something
Yep.
like that? Okay.
Yep. And then the other app that Udisc, that actually has a map. You can go anywhere in the country, and it'll have the little icon, the area you're in, and it'll show you where like the disc golf
Oh,
courses
wow.
are. It's actually, so if you look on there right now, it has our course listed. It just says under construction, not available.
Wow.
Is there a cost of these apps?
Not for that. I mean, you can get the person that anybody can register it on there for free, but if you want the premium package, like that would be up to the individual to like buy that, and they get added like features.
And they're taking a little cut of whatever the course fees are, or the registration fee is and whatever.
I think,
I'm
I'm
assuming.
not 100% sure, but I'm assuming they probably
Yeah.
do. And then there's they've got some stuff on there with like cancellation and returns and stuff like that too.
Hmm.
But I know for like, I think Greg, he is available on that Saturday, the
The six.
6th.
Okay.
So I think this sounds awesome. It sounds like you're pretty far along with like conceptual level planning the event. Like, what do you need from the city?
I don't need, I mean, it doesn't sound like you need much from us.
No, just the approval to do it. And
Go.
then-
Well, yeah, but we would also need to advertise. You have to
Yes.
share the
Yes.
app. You
Right.
have to
a
make sure
flyer
that,
to
Right.
put
make
on
sure
social
everything's
media.
done.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
we get it on the next water bill flyer?
That one will come out in August.
August. So yeah.
Probably got time. A couple weeks at least.
So
Do we have a
that's
completion
kind of your
date
deadline
the
for
course?
advertising
Right.
for us anyhow. We need to have it by then.
A couple weeks out from having, because the pads are in, the sleeves are cemented in.
Oh.
We have the baskets. Those arrived on Monday.
But
And
they
you
need
just-
to be assembled.
And you
You need
just,
to assemble the baskets, and then you slide them in, and then you lock them in place, and the signage.
Right. and
we
what
have them
about
here
the
right now.
Sponsorship.
I'll take one home.
and-
Yeah,
Like-
I haven't talked to them yet.
Sponsorships we can continue to work on, but we'll have the main course sign up along with the T signs.
Yeah.
The sponsorships we can put up on the post as they become sponsored.
It's probably something you could advertise that day too, if you want to be a sponsor, if we don't have them filled yet.
Right, whatever hasn't filled.
The main course sign, the T signs, those are going to get ordered this week. We're finalizing, just making sure the T signs are all, it's coming down to the verbiage on the bottom right here.
Right.
Once we get the sign off on that, then it's off to the sign shop for production. We should get those within a week, I would think.
So then would the city or would the park board be in charge of deciding what the fee should be and all of that?
For the tournament,
Mhm.
I don't know if we want to get that in depth.
I don't think you guys necessarily would need to. I think we would handle that on our end.
Yeah, I'd almost encourage keeping it like
Right.
in your guys'
That's what I'm
I
Right.
asking.
think that's generally how they do it, because like, I played one in Eden Prairie, they at Stein Lake Park, they do their Ring Fest. So they'll have a doubles tournament every year, and there is a individual that takes care of that and sets all that up, like the director,
Mhm.
and the city just allows them to do it. while the festival's going on.
That's what I'm thinking. We allow the use of the property.
Yeah.
They handle
Yeah.
the rest.
That's
We
Yeah,
would just need to
sounds
know what
great.
you guys are gonna charge to advertise it. And the deadlines and all of that, yeah.
Yeah,
For
so
you to advertise it,
I-
Mr.
I would-
Facebook.
I would have them give us the advertising materials and then we would throw it up on our
yeah.
platforms.
And the other thing, kind of the kicker is getting the money and then getting it to, like, let's say Innova, and then getting them ordered and pressed.
I'll talk more about that.
I would
with
say we
Nick.
kind of have to have an idea
So-
of how many we need to order though. Like, we
Right.
don't need to order, like,
They
if we
have different.
under order, over order.
Well, some of this has to do
That's what I mean. I feel like there's,
with discussion from last night. So I don't know how much I can say.
Let's talk one-on-one.
Yeah. Okay. So,
That gets more into the operations end of things.
Right.
And I can
And
simply
that's-
handle that.
I don't know, I have kind of an idea. I don't know if you wanna- There is an example of this that were printed for a tournament that's coming up. I don't know if you guys want to see that.
sure,
It's like an idea.
I'd be interested in seeing what
Um,
we could possibly have. Bring it on. So I guess we just have to basically look for a motion to approve the use of the course for the tournament. Would we have to even have a motion on that?
It's kind of open to the public. I mean, like, where does that line get drawn?
Right.
But if there's a tournament, then don't we have to announce to the public that it's
Yeah.
not open to the
Right,
public this
exactly.
day
Oh,
because
sure.
there is
We're
a tournament
closing it
going
to the
on?
public. That makes sense.
Oh,
You can also do that on the U-Disc. You can put on there, so like, when they had the big Worlds tournament last weekend, the courses that they're normally like open to the public courses, it would say like restricted, closed for this event.
Right, but some teens that want to go throw discs when it's, you know,
Correct.
they
Right.
need to know that it's not open except for, you know, during the open house hours or if they're playing in the tournament.
So then do we
We
need
just
to
have to
make
make
some
them aware.
separate signage then of that? And just have it generic so we can use it for
but I
the
think that
tournament?
they would have that up.
well, I guess if we're
Course
piggybacking it as a grand opening, there's more involvement with this one, maybe not in the
Mhm.
future.
Right.
But there is more on our end for deciding to help, to help facilitate it, in my opinion.
Right, 'cause then shouldn't we be there
Yeah.
if it's the grand opening of the disc golf course?
Right,
then
I mean,
isn't
are
the
we
park
doing that,
board
or are they
obligated
just
to be
doing
there?
It kind of feels to me like that's ours, and then you guys are having a tournament there in the afternoon.
So the open house hours would be the hours that we
Yeah.
would be there.
Yeah.
The more of the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
you say 10 to 1?
It's
for
like that
open
you're
house?
welcoming the public. You know, this
Come
feels
join
it
us
feels
in
like the city is.
celebrating.
It sounds like the baseball clubs may be interested in sponsoring some discs, but I mean, it feels like something that the city could also do too, unless we have enough money to do as many discs as we want. But yeah, that feels like something like the cities or the baseball club is providing this as part of the grand opening.
Could you maybe say a free disc to the first 50 people that sign up? That way you're not buying 150 discs
You
and
would- you-
30 people show up
I mean,
and you're stuck with
yeah.
120 of them.
You
Well-
want a few extras in case, like, let's say you guys wanted one, or,
Mhm.
you know.
But like generically speaking, like
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of like events around and they say a door prize to the first
Well, as I said,
so many people.
I kind of
so-
like having discs available for the community just to show up, like not
But
even
how
the
do we
sign
even
up,
gauge
like-
how many we need to
Yeah,
have?
all right. Well, you could say that's what I'm saying.
Well-
you could say the first 50 people or whatever, or 50 families that come,
Yeah.
like, you know, a disc or whatever.
Because you're not
but-
going to hand a disc out to like I've got 4 kids.
Yeah.
Maybe
You're not going to be handing out 4 discs.
I think it's how
For
many the
each-
baseball club wants to buy.
just
child.
a
Because
thought.
it's gonna be your money.
Mhm.
If you buy 1,000, I don't care because
Right.
the city's not paying for it.
Right.
And then they're just
Touche.
and then there's just
So-
in City Hall, like,
Well, I mean, if this
By
name-
City Hall, you mean our dumpster.
yeah.
Okay, but are the discs only going to the people that participate in the tournament? Or are you doing something for the open house?
Correct.
part?
That, and so that's,
like,
what I'm
that's
hoping
where,
to be able to hand them
like-
out for the open house.
Okay, but
I
is the
agree.
baseball club
So-
going to be then providing the discs for the open house portion? Or is that
We're
our job
I took it as baseball. club.
providing discs.
They're
for the
providing
whole thing?
the whole thing.
do we, okay, just playing devil's advocate, maybe we want these separate events because it sounds like a tournament is really inclusive, is really like, I mean, people are going to come out to this grand opening, but watch people play a tournament.
Well,
That would be after like the open
Right.
house part. I think it's important to have both as like a showing. Cause when like one thing Greg said, if you just have like an open house, you're probably not gonna draw as many people, so you kinda wanna have like a combination of both. So you can cause you do like, yes, we want the community involved and showcase it to them, but you also wanna kinda get the word out as well.
And
And
I
they would be
believe that,
welcome just to stay for the tournament.
right.
Yeah, and
And
you can advertise it as a bookended open house. Like
Right.
we're having open house from this time. There's gonna be a tournament. You're
Yeah.
welcome to sign up.
right. Sign up, stay, watch. But
Yeah.
I think to get people involved in it, myself included, I would like to go out and see somebody that does this.
Yeah.
Right. And if there's multiple people that are there, practicing, say they show up in the morning and they're practicing.
Yeah.
Well, I can watch that then, right? It's not just a matter of this is an open house, this is only open to the community, and now you guys can come in and play. Whereas that way, I think anybody's welcome to come but the actual tournament will start at a set time.
And
That
I
sounds
think,
great.
part of that during the open house, one thing like I could ask Greg if he's comfortable, because part of his ambassador deal is that he does drone clinics. I don't know if he could do like
Sure.
a little clinic for people that just want to see, hey, how do you actually build this thing?
Yeah, I mean, and there again, I mean, that's something you guys can set up on your own. I just don't know if, like I said, do we have to have a motion on them permitting them to use the course, or is it just, I don't know.
so that would come from the city council
Okay.
authorizing closure. Essentially, it's a closure of the course, like
For a private event.
for a private event.
Okay.
In time, and if it becomes a regular thing, it would simply happen. Like when the Mayor Rising Community Festival goes on, I'm sure in the beginning, the city had to give authorization for it to happen at the park, but as time goes on, that's just when it happens.
So I suppose we would recommend approval to the council.
Yeah,
Yes,
and that's,
like
that
basically,
must be
that
what
would
we
be our-
Yep.
follow through with.
That's why I was checking code real quick.
But then we have one more
Ours.
meeting to get our side of things planned for it.
Right, which, well, when is that?
So we would maybe action on it next time then, as if we're making sure everything's in line. Is there a city council meeting? Is there every 2 weeks, right?
Yeah,
So
next Monday.
Yeah.
But I
City
would
council.
say, I would think you could be able to move forward with getting some of your stuff in line that you need to get in line.
Right, because your time is gonna go very quickly.
Right, yeah, right. So, I mean, but I think that, I wouldn't see a reason why the council would say no.
Yeah, I think you could condition the approval on having it ready.
Right.
Sure.
I don't see why you wouldn't.
So
say
we could
no.
recommend
Recommend approval. conditional
now and then
upon-
let them.
I mean, I think it's just a matter of getting the word out there that we have one and
Yeah.
introducing, like I say, introducing some of the local people that are maybe interested in,
I know
Learning
some
or
people that
playing.
are local.
Right.
Do you
that
have
wanna
permits
do
for
it.
private events or anything like that with these sort of things?
Nope.
Okay.
Similar how we don't have permits for Mayor Rising Community Festival, just allow their use.
Which is interesting because other cities do. Delano and all that.
we're not other cities.
I don't know how,
Not yet.
I don't know how it works in the beginning. We just say that
Dylan also
it's always
has,
the
like-
same
Well-
date.
There you go.
Yeah, just because I went to, that's one of the courses I went to was, because they have to have security and road closures and
Well, we're not that,
all of that.
well, road
Not
closure.
yet.
Nick takes
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
doing one. Not really full
Nick
closure
just goes
though.
out there.
Yeah.
Don't drive.
Runs around.
Yeah, we were at that.
Yes.
I was thinking if mayor got bigger and busier with events, then we would start implementing that kind of structure.
Okay.
Now, where is that line?
I know, because
When
my
it-
neighbors are just asking about a block party.
Yeah, I got that
And
email.
they're like, Councilwoman Emily or Jackson. I'm like, listen, folks, I don't know.
We always talked about having one.
See, we
So-
have a policy on block parties.
Okay, see?
So there's a
We do.
permit for that.
Yep.
Oh,
See, there you
There
go.
is. So,
Especially if you're closing a road.
But for stuff in the park, it's like, yeah, just ask council.
but yeah, I think, you can communicate kind of back and forth on where things are at on the other end. You know, as far as, you know, the baseball club type stuff.
And we're not overcommitting ourselves because we've got 2 other events. Well, we're not really helping with the fire department, but we have the music.
No.
I mean, you can.
I know. So I just want to make sure.
No,
So
It's
the city's end on this will be allowing its use, and
showing up in the morning saying, hey, welcome, you know.
you give
Get
me
out some
promotional
disc.
materials and I help spread it.
Okay.
Right.
Is there, what's the process of getting like a food truck or is that,
That's on you.
You probably have to call them and ask them.
do I need anything from the city from that?
Nope, we don't regulate food trucks,
Just alcohol.
just alcohol.
Yep, yeah, that'd be the only thing. So,
And then get a flyer, get some promotion for a flyer, because I
Yeah.
know there's businesses in town here, we can put those flyers in too, so.
Who runs the?
Yeah.
web for the Facebook? I think that's-
There's 3 of us in the office, so we're pretty easy to
Who's ever
find.
closest to the computer?
right.
Should be all of that.
But it would be him
So-
and the water bill before.
Yeah, the
When do you,
newsletter.
when do you
when does
print that?
go out?
Newsletter goes out the start of the month.
Yeah,
So
but when
we-
do you print it?
We start working, she'll get that together the week prior.
So
So you have,
Friday
like-
prior,
You have like a week and a half to get that together. Because it's already mid-July.
2 weeks.
So if we
About
could get
2
that the 28th,
By the 28th?
by the 28th, to get into the newsletter.
Get your group on it.
Well, to have Greg involved, I think we're gonna have to lean towards that first Saturday.
Perfect.
I think that'll work well.
I wonder, is there like a QR code or something to that app you can include in your advertising? Because that'd be easy for.
Probably, but I'm not.
Okay.
Greg might know. So,
That
I
might
can
be a,
I can recommend you a graphic design artist.
now you might know one too.
okay.
Perfect.
You guys have any other questions?
I just say I'm really appreciate all your work and
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
sounds like
yeah.
a great event.
For
I think It'll be
sure.
really cool.
Well, it's just something that, and then the cool thing is, over time, it can just grow and get better. And
Yeah.
Like I said, you can have leagues, and then you can raise money for adding features to and there's all kinds of, you look online, like, you know, you have your target, the basket, like, you can do all kinds of crazy landscaping,
Mhm.
make it like super unique and cool. I mean, we definitely had like, our course there isn't too many like prairie courses, so it's a little bit different.
Okay.
We have one of the targets that's on top of a big mound. You don't see that very often. So we definitely tried to use what we have, but there's definitely things down the road we can add to make it even better.
Awesome.
Yeah, the only one I've been to is Crown, and they've got like a bridge with water and trees,
Yeah.
and
The
yeah.
cool thing about disc golf, it really just, it's one of the best ways to utilize the space. That doesn't take a lot of maintenance. You don't have to really like, the more obstacles and the more things you throw over, the more trees, like that's kind of what makes it better, you know, like
Mhm.
it isn't like traditional ball golf where they, you know, it's like.
Everything's wide open.
Yeah, you want,
Right,
you want to be able to,
right.
like, you know, as you get better, you can shape the discs to go through trees and around stuff and
Mhm.
unique, so, but it's very accessible to everyone. Yeah, it's a great sport, so.
Way cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for the info. Yeah.
Am I good?
You're good.
You're free to
You too,
leave.
thank you.
Just keep me posted on the other stuff.
Will do.
Alright, thanks.
All right. Discussion on Memorial Park Bench Program.
Do we wait before we move on? Do we need to make a motion to recommend approval to the council, or is it
Would
just?
the board like to make a
I would like
recommendation of
to.
the council?
Oh,
City
okay.
council.
I would move to make recommendation to the council to approve use of the disc golf course for this tournament.
Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Very
I
good.
can't believe I got that out in one try.
Yeah, that was, and it was smooth.
Very professional.
All right, Memorial Park Bench Program.
Thank you. Chair. The city has a Memorial Park bench program.
Yep.
And it's in desperate need of updating. It was enacted back in 2020, back when prices on things were a whole lot better. And we didn't have anybody really take advantage of it till here recently. And we
Right.
got the one bench. And this is the spec sheet for that bench that was selected at the time in 2020.
Yep.
It was that, and then when we got it, the quality was not what we were hoping it would be.
I heard that.
Let me get over to here. So what we did is we ended up, we stripped the boards off, Public Works did, and then put better boards on than what it originally came with, because we just weren't satisfied with the quality that we got. That being said, the existing program asked for $500 to cover the cost, which doesn't even come close. The plaque and the bench together were $800. And then you have concrete cost, time, Public Works putting it in, what have you.
So you're talking
$3,000.
That all depends on what kind of bench you really want to go with. This one was
Like I gotta start
This was
working for the city.
$720, and the plaque was $80 to go on there. So that being said, looking to revamp the program, I put together program documents for a revamp. This one just adds some more guidance on the whole thing, how the process goes. And I think the thrust of it is we don't put a price on there. I was researching what other cities do. Some have a cost I saw anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000, depending on the bench that is pre-selected for that. Or other cities would say whatever the market dictates for whatever the pricing is at the time. So if you want a Memorial Park bench, you throw in your application, staff would then go get what the cost is to have it produced and transported and installed and go, yep, this is your price. If you still want to move forward with it, let us know.
And we don't,
I would say go with that kind of.
do we,
I agree.
with the old program, I mean, like the old program, it was $500. Like, I'm assuming we just cover whatever the remainder was. Are we in this new program? Is it then 100% donation funded? That's the idea, basically?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I saw a lot of the other cities where they didn't do matching funds. It wasn't, you
Right.
give this, we give this.
Right.
We offer up the program to allow it to go into a park, but you're responsible for the cost.
Sure.
Have you done any research as to where people are ordering these from currently?
There are many different park bench manufacturers out there, and that gets to a question of what style we want to go with.
Right.
This is the one we have in Discovery Park. This is the style of bench that's up there that we have. You have your standard powder coated steel.
Don't like those.
Well, that's kind of like
They
what
just
the state fair
chip in
has,
rough.
right? Don't they have that where they put people's names on it? Don't they?
Yeah,
look like
yeah, I've seen
It
that, but
looks not nearly as nice.
And they're
I
not
think
as
if you're gonna
comfortable.
want to honor somebody, then they probably want it to look nice. Like Chuck's
nicer
bench
bench.
looks very nice.
Right.
Like,
This-
I mean, that is a nice bench, but
Nice
mounting
when
a
it-
plaque
nice
on
when
it.
it
was new.
I
Like I
was
say,
gonna say, it
mounting a
looks terrible
plaque on
now.
it, I don't know how
Right.
you know.
Where is that one?
This one is on the south leg of the old schoolhouse trail.
Oh, that one looks like it's ready to cut someone's
It
leg
does.
open.
Yeah.
And it's black.
I started looking at benches and I
That-
started realizing
That one's not
maybe
very
we're going to
good.
replace benches sooner
Yeah.
rather than later.
Well, that was kind of
Told you
why I
basketball
asked
court needs
about
one.
the,
That one looks.
even along the trail, they're starting a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
iffy.
kind of why I asked about cost participation. What that was, because like I know we identified some like needs for benches as part of, when we did our scoring. Like if we have, I guess it's fine if we're saying all of our bench program is via donation. I think that's fine. Or are we saying we're going to commit to doing the ones that we ranked highly, and then if anybody wants that the rest are extra?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
That's-
how many people actually ask about?
Well, it sounded
A
like none for a
memorial
long
bench.
time.
Right.
So
Right.
Chuck was the first one that I dealt with, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
then
That's not very many.
the Lions Club wants to do a couple.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's,
So we've had 3 benches of interest in 5 years
yeah,
of having
that's
the
not a
program.
lot. but it looks like maybe we need to invest in some new benches.
Well, I even discovered that when we went to the basketball court, there's not even one there. And I finally
yeah.
realized
At
like,
Discovery
Yeah.
Park or this
Uh-huh.
one?
the one by Zion,
Yeah,
Blue
we've been
Jays.
saying
I
that.
was
as well.
like, we could use a bench or two. Here.
Yeah.
I was sitting on the ground,
Mhm, yeah.
ants
We've
crawling up.
talked about that. We've talked
Mhm.
about some down at the volleyball court.
Yeah,
that would be
Talked
nice.
about
too.
some, you know, just
yeah, we briefly talked about it. It's like it's actually a bigger need than I realized that we need. Some of them don't. I think some of the parks are fine, but
I think that's going to be the discussion. You're
Mhm.
going to have park benches that you want there, and you're not going to want to wait till somebody wants to put in a
Correct.
memorial bench.
Right.
correct.
High demand, this is where we just got to have them as, even if you didn't have a bench program like this, you'd be still putting
Right.
in a bench.
Correct.
But then you have other locations along trails, or maybe an added bench at those facilities that you
Mhm.
could certainly.
right.
And that's stipulated in the program documents. Donors can make suggestions on where they would like it located specifically.
Hmm.
Ultimately, it'll be for city approval.
I mean, say we put a new bench in here and somebody absolutely wanted that bench. They could be,
add a plaque or something.
right, they could be paying for,
Well,
The
it's
bench.
fine. They're just
it's already there.
well, yeah.
but
I mean,
that's
they
what
would
you're-
still pay the same fee. They're
Exactly.
just that's now their bench.
Yep.
And then we add that to the program. We can put a new one in wherever we want.
Right.
Yeah. That's essentially the program documents, kept it to a two-pager. Just that you can suggest where it will go. City will be the ultimate approval of it, but unless they're really wacky about it, we're
Yeah.
not gonna. And same goes for the engraved plaque. They'll suggest what they want on it to have it subject to city approval, just so they don't get, the odds of it happening are incredibly slim, but as soon as you
You
don't
never
put that
know.
stuff in
People
there.
are
Gotta
strange.
get
One
people
of my
in there.
neighbor's yard that I don't like. Yeah.
And then ultimately the cost is borne by the donor.
Yeah.
No, that sounds good to me.
Yep.
Yep. I agree. It was time for an update. I mean, we had just put that together just because we had been asked the question and then there was no follow through.
Yeah.
Right. So at the time it was just like, okay, well, what do we do?
Mhm.
So
As far as that, if there's a particular style you guys,
Well, it
There's
doesn't
a-
seem like
there's
Mayor
a
has a
100 different
uniform
kinds.
theme.
I personally
No.
liked the one that we had spec'd, like of the pictures you showed. Like, I like that one the best.
I
I
think
do
I
like
do
that.
too, actually.
I
And
do
it's
like
do
that.
this, but we just get a better quality of
Right.
that.
Is
Well-
it? Is this like that? It's like plastic,
Yeah,
boards,
it's like
basically?
the
Like a
stuff
Trex
you
or
put on a
like
deck.
tricks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably gonna last.
Well, that
A
was
lot
my
longer
comment. I
too
kind of like
than-
that versus like the other one looks really really nice, but I mean, wood, even really well finished wood, doesn't
Correct.
last super long
And you have to
outside.
refinish it.
So
And that was us in a pinch. We got it.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
assembled it and went,
Mhm.
yeah.
so this wasn't
Sounds like this
this
is-
wasn't what
This
that
is-
one looked like.
This is
was-
considered
it was
maintenance
like
free.
this, but much lower quality.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. I was gonna say, I was like, what's wrong?
Yeah,
with
I
this?
like
But
this
I
one.
like this a lot. Yeah.
Mhm.
If you like this style, I will find one that is in a good quality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
the
fine
kind
with
we
that one.
I like it
Yeah.
too because it's installed on the ground and it doesn't look like, is that concrete work under that or is it just
It's a
poles
sleeve,
that
isn't
are?
it? Type of deal.
You probably just do
Seriously, I think it's,
sonotubes.
so maybe you're saving money on concrete by just doing footings, right? Or whatever.
Well, that's inside of a playground. You'd still want it on top of a concrete pad. Otherwise, you wear the grass off in front. They got to try and mow around it. It's just a lot simpler if it's a concrete pad. You mow around it, you're done.
If it's
Have a
not
weed whip around it.
inset
Right.
within the playground itself, which I would bet the majority of yours is gonna
Yes.
be like this.
Mhm.
If it's along a path, if it's sitting on the outside of a playground abutting, it's gonna be on a
On the
path,
pad.
just for ease of maintenance.
Mhm.
But I do like the maintenance free
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
material.
For sure.
Okay,
I'll have
Alright.
examples on that.
nice.
Thank you. Review items for music in the park.
Music in the park. Michael Handler is booked. Glitter Ponies is booked. Archery is booked. Bounce houses. That's where we'd like to make a decision. So last year we did the 3-in-1 wacky combo. And then we also did the Tiger Bounce House with slide.
Yep.
Which are those? So those are the ones, that wasn't our photo.
No, that wasn't our, but that's, yeah.
Pictures of them. No, I'm not logged in, so I can't see more photos.
And forgive me, but we monitor these, we run these.
Just kind of set them up. We don't think we really.
They do their own.
Somebody doesn't
Nope.
stand there and allow people to
I
come in
think
and
you're
out.
supposed to.
I'm pretty sure everyone I've been to with my kids, there's somebody saying only
I
so many people
know
can be in there at a certain time. and
Pest
we're talking about
rentals,
music
we've
in the
never
park.
had that.
We're talking about inflatables.
Yeah.
I think mine. I think when I put them through my kid and said that Tiger, it was go ahead,
It's free for all.
play at your own risk.
Hope you come out
I
alive.
think that's kind of how we did it.
Okay.
Back in my day, we had pea gravel and metal bars. And it was just
Right, I'm
fine.
with you.
Listen, I yelled at some kids at
I just,
at one of
Well,
the
and-
events. It was like, you do not climb on there. Get down right now.
right. I mean,
But I mean but that's
But
the
parents,
adult parent
well,
thing to
but
do.
a lot of
They
them see it as a
don't.
babysitting
I know.
tool.
I kind of feel like you should have somebody regulating the
But
house. I
then you're
mean, aren't
trying
there
to-
rules
then you
around
gotta
it?
look for staff.
I will
You gotta-
sacrifice myself on the lamb. I will volunteer to monitor the bounce houses this year. How about that?
All right. Do they come when you rent them? Don't they come with safety protocol? Like how many people can be in?
There is a
at time?
plaque on the outside and that's it.
I'm assuming you sign away all liability when you pick that thing up.
Usually they come with instructions, like
You say,
it's like a pool. You know?
No, they set them up and everything. We don't touch
I know,
them.
but
Yeah, same with the festival.
Yep.
They just put them out the night before and we blow them up the day of.
Plug it in.
We're
and-
supposed to have volunteers too. My daughter will be volunteering.
yeah, see,
'Cause I don't have
think there's
volunteers.
Safety protocol. But, okay.
Yeah, and I guess to that point, I've been helping out with city festivals for 15 years and we've had inflatables that just make sure the kids don't get too rough and don't allow too
Well,
many.
there you go. I mean, that's
I've never
Yeah,
actually
that's
seen a
about-
safety guideline. for
parents'
everyone.
duty, isn't it?
So now you're the bounce house.
Lots of them
bouncer.
don't
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, they just.
No, I
turn
don't
around
have-
Put them in
yell at
and talk to their
children.
friend.
Make them cry. It'll be
Especially
fun.
if there's beer involved.
Yeah, well, there won't be at this one anyway.
We used
is
to have
there?
one of Donkashing days, but that's because you only got a limited amount of time.
Oh, they set a timer.
Yep, I remember running
Yeah.
that clicker. You're done. Get out.
See,
Yeah.
that's what I remember from my kids. I mean, I would hate for somebody to get hurt. I remember my kids were little. Whenever they went in bounce houses, they were only allowed in there so many kids at a certain time, and then they kick them out and let the next group in. It was a way to regulate it so kids didn't get hurt, so it wasn't a liability for the city, so it wasn't. I mean, but you said that you haven't, so if that's the way they run it now, that's fine.
We've had them numerous years. We've never had anybody. I don't know.
Okay.
so we're picking
Pick two.
pick two. The joust arenas are really fun, and you get some older kids play that. But if you want, but it's nice to have the things the little kids can do. In
Which one?
particular, I think those joust things. They're like it's like two posts you stand on, and then you like smack each other with them.
Like in a.
It's
that
kind of like
show,
it's kind of like you're the Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but you got like
Wipe
two.
out.
Wipeout.
Yeah,
Or
like that.
gladiator or something.
Those are, I mean, adults can do those too, which is kind of fun. But it is. I do like having them more for the kid. Like I have 4 and 5 year olds, so
I like the, I
We could
like
like
the
have
tiger.
it after 8 o'clock.
yeah.
Inflatables.
We always like the train one is kind of cool because
That one's not available.
Okay,
They did say that one was not available.
okay. But like the obstacle course type thing is always
What's the moonwalk? What's that? Well, I guess we don't have
Well,
pictures
they
of
told
those.
us we had to go to their Facebook page to find pictures.
Mhm.
So
There's the train.
There's a train. There's the jungle one.
we've had that one before.
I don't have my phone, so I can't. Well, I have my laptop. I guess I can.
Where's that? The zoo bounce house with slide, and that's the
Well, clearly that's the tiger one.
The moonwalk one, the one where you're strapped in. You get like velcroed in and then you like run
Oh,
from the wall. I don't know. There's one like that.
that big slide one looks
People
fun.
have. They only have 3 pictures on there.
Nah, if I'm not logged in here. There's a tiger one.
It's really
Obstacle
interesting
course.
angle of the tiger one. Oh, I think Freshwater's done that one.
Yeah, I think we did.
The tiger one was good.
I like the tiger.
This one might be the moonwalk one.
See that slide? That big slide looks
That
cool.
slide
Okay,
thing
well,
is cool.
here.
Is that what
I
you
think
said we
they
did last
have-
year?
They have a board. I don't know if they gave that to you last year, but it
I
says
remember that last year.
safety rules right on the board.
No.
So
They didn't give us that last
Follow.
I think
So
y'all
maybe they
turned-
just
I
don't
think you just
have
turned
the board.
away.
This one might,
What-
I don't know.
what safety
I
sign?
I don't know what that
year.
is either.
Laughed them out of the park.
Oh, well, what if someone
That
gets
must be
hurt and sues the city?
Korean one.
So I
Good
have insurance.
recreational immunity.
Do we? For inflatables? For real?
I'm good with that. What was that other one?
Unless we're being
The
crazy.
3-in-1?
I think that's
Well,
this one.
If you're not
It
regulated.
must be like an obstacle course type thing.
The zoo thing
The
looks
big slide.
fine.
I'm gonna see if I can pull this up. What is the name of the company?
Midwest, Party, Supply.
I think that's.
Oh, I've
the
rented
zoo.
stuff from them before.
We've had that one in the past.
The jungle one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the green one.
I don't know.
Remember when we had it set up down below?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like pin the tail on the donkey. Like this, these all look great.
Right. Exactly. Right. I don't think you could
Oh,
go
here's the
really.
joke.
Facebook, their
Jousting one.
website.
The big long thing is the moonwalk obstacle course.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That looks
This
fun.
one.
That looks fun.
I like the
Run the
slide.
kids
I like
through
something
there and it
other than-
beats at you.
Right,
If you
that's
have-
the one where you're strapped. You get like.
I don't think you're strapped in for this guy. Oh, that's
what's
something
that
different.
one?
This is the moonwalk.
This is your
thing.
jousting one.
Oh, that's the
Run
moonwalk
through
one?
all
You
the
like
things.
run through all the little.
That's the one Freshwater had, I think.
These,
This is the jousting.
yeah, that's where you like bonk each other.
I don't know if we need to be bonking each other in the head.
I think that was my favorite.
I mean, we could actually get kind of
12-year-old.
violent on that. So.
That one sounds like maybe a bloody nose if
Right.
nobody is monitoring.
I think they
the-
come with little like those masks.
Oh, the head things. Oh,
Yeah.
well, that sounds like head lice.
If that's the moonwalk, I think the moonwalk would probably be a good
I think the
investment.
moonwalk one's really looks
Jousting,
cool.
and I got to invite some council members.
Yeah, yeah, the one you want to. Or any
See Chad
residents that
Helt
have
up
been
there?
paid.
Oh my gosh.
Take out some aggression.
No, I think my vote's for the moonwalk and the tiger.
That's fine.
All in favor of the tiger?
I'm in
Aye.
favor
Aye.
of the tiger. What does the moonwalk look
It's-
like? That
it's,
one that
uh,
I said Freshwater?
Yeah.
yeah. You like run through it, and there's all these.
It's got like the arms that like stop you.
Yeah,
You gotta
Why
crawl
is this
over 'em.
Facebook in Spanish?
perfect
too?
for my
Was yours in
5-year-old
Spanish?
You get lost.
Or whatever language
Yeah,
it
he's
is?
been there more than 5 minutes. Like,
That's why you want that one. You got a longer break.
yeah.
Don't have a clue.
So I hear tiger and moonwalk.
That's what I'm.
Yeah.
I think tiger. We got a pretty unanimous.
Oh, let's look at their reviews.
unanimous
Maybe they'll be
vote.
suggested.
If the moonwalk, all in favor of the moonwalk?
Aye.
Aye.
I mean,
There we go.
All right.
Tiger and moonwalk.
I don't really care. I won't be in them. So
You never know.
Yeah.
We may
Somebody's
need a.
Somebody's got to go in there and
You
wipe up all
gotta
the
test
mud.
it out.
We
You
might.
gotta make sure
last
it's
year,
safe.
we
Make sure
may-
it's safe for all the
Yeah, we
kids,
gotta make sure
Emily.
it's
so
safe.
before it opens, then I can go in it.
We may need
Bouncing
a
it, you get the timer. It's like 2 minutes is tops. That's
council
all it can
member
take.
slash park board.
That's why I'm asking all the hard questions. Yep, there's the sign you're talking
There you
about.
go.
That's-
Yeah. Yeah, see,
It's
I
there
told
too.
So maybe they'll bring us
you.
a
Maybe
sign.
they only do it if
I
it's
didn't
like
know that last
3
year.
plus.
I think you turned a blind eye. is
K
what I
and
think.
K doesn't ever give us a sign.
Rules. Who needs
Any
rules?
other reports? Any other things we need to know? Any other?
We got the backfilling
I
around
want-
the splash pad. and the
Looks awesome.
I want the snow
Trail.
cone machine too.
Once they're all, they should finish up on the trail
What's the stockpile for?
stockpile
The big mound?
behind it.
Yeah.
To just
Landscaped.
landscape, we're gonna put landscaping on top of it.
Just
So
to
kids-
screen, just
So
to
kids
screen
don't just
the.
fall off.
No, are we screening from like the sheds?
Yeah, so
Or-
people don't have to look at it.
Yeah.
They're looking out that way.
Yeah, that's nice.
Better aesthetic view.
No, it's good.
I did get a
Just
question
curious.
about maybe this is more the city, but about the snow fence. My neighbor's like, can they keep that up because it keeps the kids in? Is there any plans for a
That is-
permanent
no.
fence?
Not at this time. We're gonna go through a season, see how it goes.
Okay.
We'll make decisions next year.
I figured. I said we haven't talked about it, but she's like, I love it. It's Sam. She's
Yeah,
like, because
I love it too.
my kids don't run out. It keeps them contained.
But
I think it'll
stay
be-
up until grass is
Till
established.
I
Yeah.
think it'll feel a lot different. That's one different thing, but I do think it'll feel a lot different once it's grass because it kind of felt treacherous like before when it
Yeah.
just like looked like there was this drop off into the gravel
Yeah.
basically
Drop
before.
into the abyss.
But I can speak to mom saying it's nice having an enclosed area. It
No,
makes
my
you
wife
be
said
able
the
to
same
sit
thing.
a little bit longer.
She's like,
without-
it is, but
My kids just come to me for snacks
Yeah.
or a towel
There's only one exit.
instead of running
Mhm.
off.
Yeah.
I'm personally kind of like if they run off the other end and roll down the hill, like
then
for
I'll
me
learn.
that's good. Like
See,
get a little
dad
more
versus
energy out.
mom opinion.
But like
Dad
I
versus mom.
did hear the same comment that it
Yeah.
was a fence would be the fence is nice / would be nice. But yeah, I think we let it go and see, get some more feedback once it's actually
Might
grassed in.
keep the hoodlums out too.
We'll just hop.
You never get.
It's open on the
a
one
permanent
side.
Fence, I said.
Oh.
If
Like an enclosed
anybody
pool.
is bored on Saturday, I could use some volunteers for
Yes,
the
who is
festival.
available for?
I'm looking at everybody.
Four other people
Does that make
here.
you feel better? Because I have to turn my chair.
Are we
Who is
putting-
running our table?
Are we? Yeah. Are we having a table? 'Cause
Yes,
I
you
am
guys
not
have
here.
you guys have a booth.
Yep.
So
I am.
think you were
I am
supposed to be
pre-committed.
promote. This
I
has
am out
been
of
in the
town.
works. For
That's where I
years.
am. I'm pre-committed.
This is why I was like, do we want to add something else in September?
Well, I didn't realize it was pre-committed until Peggy informed me we were pre-committed. to it
Right?
lately,
See, this
but
is what happens to me too. Because we
Otherwise,
have a
I've always
booth
been
where
there. I've been there
we're
every
actually
year.
advertising.
You have been. You have been.
See, that
there
would
every
be a
year.
good place to advertise that we're going to have a grand opening too.
Right. It's just not
But
ready.
now you've got to know before Saturday.
Yeah, we're not gonna know. We're just advertising that a disc golf course. will
it's
be
available.
here.
Yep.
Say it's opening.
Can you say a potential grand opening? Is that possible?
Yeah, we can mention that.
Yeah.
We're working on it. Be on the lookout.
Yeah, maybe
Notice
just-
on
I would even
Facebook and
put,
in the
like,
flyer.
Possibly September 6th or something, so people watch for it.
I'll talk about it verbally because I've got the sign ordered
Yeah.
and
So you're running the booth at this weekend?
yes,
Sounds
apparently.
like it. So what did you need help
I
with?
think
Mike
I
bailed
can
on
show
me.
up for a while.
Sorry.
So what do you?
Actually,
want?
I can't. I
The
can't.
bike rodeo needs volunteers.
I'm sorry, the
The
what?
Twins Clinic baseball needs volunteers
Wow.
for
Are
Are there actually twins
registration.
people there?
Yes. Well, it's through the Twins Clinic. It's not actual Twins players,
No.
but it's. I feel like we did one time. Have it? I don't know.
I swear we
I don't know
did
who
when
it
my
is,
kids were
but
little.
it's through the
Yeah.
Twins Clinic. And the pedal pool also needs volunteers.
I did get that text. What is that? Pedal pole. How long does that last? And
Wow.
Registration is at 11:15, and the poll is from 12 to 2.
There's a lot of kids. But do it.
There will hopefully be a lot of
Sounds like a good
kids that
dad
do
job.
it.
Good.
I'm out of town.
Man
My boys
job.
would be in the pedal pole if we were here, but
Stop looking
Tell Chris.
at me. I will discuss it. Because he already was like, do you have to be at that thing on Saturday? So,
Okay,
Free
well,
lunch
if anyone
company.
is bored and not out of town,
Right.
I got lots of jobs for myself.
you need a board
Me
now
and
for next
Zachary.
year. You need a Mayor Rising board now for next year. Huh?
We're good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
Too many cooks
you're
in
like
the
hands
kitchen.
off.
I will take volunteers, but we don't want more cooks in the kitchen.
oh.
There's 6 of us.
Oh, there
Our
are.
ideas are
Okay,
enough.
I thought it was just you and your husband.
Yeah.
No,
Don't need to
no.
put more into it.
Well, Zachary and I will be running around. Tom mans the car show,
Gotcha.
and then Larry and Sue Gady, who are also on the board, help with the car show.
Yeah.
And then David Gungle and Scott Wakefield are in charge of the tractor show.
Mm-hmm.
Zachary and I are in charge, me, of the
Everything
rest.
else.
I just thought when we went to this League of Minnesota thing, that was like the main takeaway was we went into a course for what these big cities do for their events, Delano, Chanhassen, Duluth. And I could see, I like Christmas stood out to me, like we need to amp that up a little bit. But it could get big. We could do fireworks one year. You know what I mean?
We
Like,
can. It's a matter of finding volunteers. Like I
Right.
said, we don't necessarily like the disc golf, like them having a tournament. That's wonderful. We will like help advertise, but we also want to be hands off. Like that's
Yeah.
them.
Right.
yeah.
We'll help advertise. We'll, help get
Show
the
up for
word
the
out.
grand opening
We'll
in the
make
morning,
it be
say,
part of
"Welcome,"
the thing.
But that's it.
A 5K has been mentioned. Same with that. I'll
Mhm.
help
And that's
advertise
been-
with that, but
Numerous times.
hands off
and-
for us. Like
Mhm.
Right.
we do food vendors, like everything else is on the 6 of us. So
My boys, after 2 years, the only thing they all talk about is whoever's driving that lawnmower tractor.
that's
That is
that's
their-
Scotty.
Yes, they all get on it.
That
Yeah,
is
that'll
that
be
they're
here this
all
summer.
time.
And my kids like the petting
Advertising.
zoo when they were little, but that was when Zion ran it. They had a
I
little
didn't
petting
know
zoo
Zion
with
ran
pony
it.
rides. It was called Fun in the Sun or something back then.
That's way before my time.
I was gonna say I don't remember that.
It was with the Woodfords and stuff. We were out there. They had the Fun in the Sun 5K. I think we still have a T-shirt.
I do remember the 5K they had.
Yeah.
Well, Mayor Moxie also
Well,
did
they-
a 5K.
There was a
One
few
year,
different
and a
attempts
kids'
at
fun
5K.
run.
But they had a little pony ride thing,
Oh, yeah, we
and they had a little petting zoo, and that's what I mean. You've got the momentum, is what I mean. I see how this thing is growing every year. That it potentially could put Mayor on the map. You could really.
It is one of the largest car shows for a small.
Yeah,
Tom does a great job
Right.
with the
Yeah.
car show.
It does an awesome
Yeah.
job.
the car
So,
show's pretty cool, and I don't even like cars. So.
and it's. I mean, I think that's
And
what
the
most
tractor with
people
the trailer.
The
know is
tractor,
the
the
car
tractor
show
train,
or the
lawnmower train.
boutique or whatever you want to call it
Craft and
indoors.
vendor show.
Oh
Craft and vendor
yes.
show.
the
But other
craft
than
vendor
that,
show.
That was how I got roped into being on the
I
committee.
figured that's how you got roped
we
in.
did that. I did that political booth that one year. So.
Oh, yep.
So, all right, with
Okay,
that, I
sorry,
will
add
look
that.
to for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
So moved. You're really,
I'm up in my
You're really
parliamentary
killing it
procedure
tonight.
tonight.